It's back to school for 250,000 students after 2 months away as the COVID-19 circuit breaker ends. The Education Minister says prolonged school closure would have had a significant impact on students. A review is in the works to better blend digital and classroom learning.
Staggered reporting times, safe entry check-ins and wearing of masks. Stricter safety measures like these were conducted smoothly at this school. But some teething issues became apparent, such as when students had to speak up.
When the children had to present, what they learned in the holidays, then we realized it was a learning moment for me. I thought, oh wow, okay, if the children have to use microphones, what are we going to do, How are we going to supply them with a microphone each? How are we going to clean the microphones and sanitize that? So that's something I need to think about.
Like other schools, Singnan Primary is rotating more students between classroom and home-based learning. The school said a majority of those who missed school were on medical leave, though some said their parents were initially hesitant.
They were a bit worried that I might get the virus because sometimes in school there are some irresponsible people.
Education Minister Ong Ye Kung, who visited the school, said some parents had hoped for school closures to be extended, but noted this isn't possible as COVID-19 may persist till a vaccine is found.
The impact on their growing up will be very severe in terms of their mental, character, social, emotional development. That will be very, very drastic. It's about their whole character and social, emotional development. And we cannot deprive a whole generation of that.
Mr. Ong noted, however, that a careful reopening is necessary, and it's learning from South Korea, which shut hundreds of schools again after reopening following a resurgence of the virus. He added that it may take about a month before students from all levels can return in phase 2. Mr. Ong said the Education Ministry is also looking at how to better combine online and classroom teaching, which could happen quite soon. And that's because e-learning has advantages, like getting students to be more self-directed. But he noted that it cannot substitute classroom learning, which one student agrees with.
I'm not as productive as I will be in classes, so I think coming back to school really allows me to get my studies back on track and to prepare well for the upcoming national exams.
Yio Chu Kang Secondary had to send back 2 students who had a temperature and running nose. Besides such safety measures, the school also took additional precautions for physical education lessons.
We are really focusing on individual activities, like maybe perhaps skipping, perhaps like skill-based activities, Tabata workout, so that they maintain, they keep to their space allocation.
The school says there is enough space to ensure safe distancing, even when all students are back on campus.
Well, preschools have also reopened their doors as schools commit to ensure the necessary safety measures are in place. They are set to resume general services for children in stages. Social and Family Development Minister Desmond Lee revealed that he visited some children at Little Preschool. He was given a tour of the school's safety efforts, which includes using desk shields to allow the children to interact with their friends at a safe distance. There are also transparent plastic shields placed in between children during nap time and contactless sanitizer dispensers at the centre's entrance. Mr. Lee says many preschool centres have proactively reached out to parents over the past 2 weeks to provide updates ahead of the reopening. With more people going back to work, there's been a noticeable increase in passengers on buses and trains, particularly during peak hours. The Land Transport Authority says the situation was orderly and manageable across the board, with commuters observing safe distancing where possible.
Day 1 after the end of the circuit breaker, and the hustle and bustle has returned to public transport, although not quite at levels before the pandemic began. At Jurong East MRT station, many on their morning commute were seen keeping a safe distance. But by peak hour, train cabins were a lot more packed. And with physical distancing a challenge, passengers began sitting side by side. Still, it was observed that commuters heeded calls to stay safe and wear masks. And those CNA spoke to say their companies have granted them flexible work hours and have encouraged telecommuting where needed.
Our company actually did stagger work hours, so I myself had to come in by 8 o'clock in the morning, but some of my colleagues will have to come in by 9, some will come in by 10.
We're taking 1 week off, 1 week come back, 1 week off, so it's a shift work. Of course that we will see the condition now. So if let's say the condition is still very crowded, so we will continue to work from home.
It was also busier than usual, bright and early at this bus interchange in Jurong. However, commuters appeared to take it in their stride.
Since today is the first day, there wasn't any challenge. To me, it's still the same.
Travel time is still the same as usual, yeah.
But do you observe more crowd?
No, less crowded. I find it still less crowded.
Others were seen using safe entry, which is voluntary and can help with contact tracing efforts if required. Separately, those on board this bus were mindful of sitting apart where possible, and very little chatter was observed. Meanwhile, for those who might prefer booking a private hire car, ride-hailing firm Grab will soon introduce new safety measures. From the end of June, passengers must fill in health declarations before their trips and will not be allowed to sit in front next to drivers. Gojek, on its part, says it will roll out complimentary car fogging and sanitization services for its drivers.
Singapore will fully implement global guidelines for restoring air travel during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore is a member of the ICAO task force that worked on the framework of measures. Now, these guidelines recommend physical distancing where possible or mitigation measures in airplane cabins where it's not possible. The guidelines also include the wearing of face masks by all passengers and crew, health declarations and mass testing when it's possible to receive results in real time. CAAS says it's been working closely with Changi Airport Group, airlines and industry partners to implement these measures for flights that are still operating at Changi Airport.